Hello guys, so today we will see what are the advantages and disadvantages of OOPS. So before coming to this video, I hope you have basic knowledge of what are the OOPS concepts. Even if you don't have, we will try to explain each and every point to you. So let's get started. Okay. So I've made a simple table, and in one side there are advantages of OOPS, and in the next side there are disadvantages of OOPS. So you can take a screenshot or maybe write down. So this will help you to you can keep it as short notes also. So let's go to the advantages of OOPS and then one disadvantage. So one by one we'll go. Okay. So the first advantage of OOPS is that OOPS provide enhanced code reusability. So this is a very basic nature of OOPS. So I don't think that this is a point that needs to be elaborated. It is self-explanatory. Okay. So next we'll go to the disadvantage of OOPS. The programmer should be well skilled and should have excellent thinking in terms of objects, as everything is treated as an object in OOPS. Yeah, so this is very important actually, because when you are incorporating OOPS in your application, you have to have knowledge of objects and classes. So if you don't have knowledge of that, so it will be really difficult for you to understand and work with it. So you have to be very skilled with objects and classes to understand and incorporate OOPS. So this can be a disadvantage. Next, in advantage of OOPS, the code is easier to maintain and update. Okay, so why we are saying this, it's easier to maintain and update, because it works as in objects and classes. So for any particular class, if you want to make any changes or if you want to make any update, you can do it just by going to the class itself. And what I'm trying to say is, you can navigate to where you are going to change or provide updation. You can navigate to that place and update it very easily, rather than in procedural programming it was a little bit harder. Okay, so next disadvantage we'll see, proper planning is required because OOPS is a little bit tricky. Okay, so proper planning is required. Why we are saying this? As you know that we are gonna create classes and objects. On the basis of those, we are gonna perform our actions. So in OOPS, if we are creating classes, we should have prior knowledge of it. Like, yeah, we have this many objects. For like, we have vehicle object, we have car class. So we have to know these things prior. Prior planning is very important. So yeah, prior, or you can say proper planning is required, because OOPS is a little bit tricky. Yeah. Next advantage, it provides better data security by restricting data access and avoiding unnecessary exposure. Okay, if you have read about OOPS, you should know that it actually provides encapsulation, which is a data hiding technique, and abstraction as well. So obviously when you do data hiding, data security is automatically achieved. Okay, so we have also access modifier. If you know the concept of access modifier, it will be easier for you to understand this statement. So I hope if you relate all this with this particular statement, you will understand it better. Okay, next disadvantage of OOPS. OOPS concept is not suitable for all kind of problems. Okay, so if we talk about all kind of problems, there could be like hundreds of problems in where you need OOPS or you don't need them. Like there can be a lot of case scenarios. Okay, so I can't explain that like what, like there will be thousands because okay, so just keep in mind that there can be some situation where oops is not uh, required, or if there is very simple program you may not even need oops in that. Okay, so why make it complex? You can just write 2-3 codes in procedural programming. Okay, next advantage of oops: fast to implement and easy to redesign, resulting in minimizing the complexity of an overall program. Okay, so yeah, if you see the structure of a oops incorporated classes or program, you will see that the design is very much easy. Like if you want to update, or if you want to redesign a class, or if you want to redesign even an application, just by making few changes you can do that. Okay, so that is one of the main advantage. And yeah, of course it is fast to implement, faster than the procedural programming. So this is the point that you can keep in mind. And if all this happens, obviously the complexity of an overall program minimizes. Okay, so last disadvantages of OOP that we're gonna see today is the length of the program is much larger in comparison to the procedural approach. Yes, as I already said, that oops concept incorporated application, if you're making, and if it's not required, then please do not use it. As we saw in the third disadvantage, it's not suitable for our kind of problems. So why? The reason is that the length of the program is much larger. Okay, so if it's required, you have to like think about a lot of cases. Like you have to think, if I will use oops here, will it help me? Will it make the code more manageable and everything? Like a lot of factors need to be considered. But yeah, this is one of the disadvantages, that it can make your problem much larger in comparison to the procedural approach. So these are few of the advantages and disadvantages, but definitely the main ones. You can keep this in mind, and it will help you get a clearer picture of the OOPS concept. So thank you.